First of all, I would like to say thank you guys for coming out today and supporting. I'd like everybody to give a hand clap for the Southern California Black Business Expo. You guys ever met people that say there are no black businesses? I hear that all the time. But look at this room full of us here. How about that? My background is classic cars and lowriding. I was the first African American, if not the first person to ship a lowrider to Japan. So when NWA started putting rap videos out in the late 80s, 87, 88, so those videos went global. Japan got a hold of those videos and said, we want some of those kind of cars, some of those bouncy cars. So they found themselves down in Los Angeles, California, or they call it the States, America. So they forwarded them over to me because I had some of the nicest cars sitting in the paint shop. So I had a convertible 63 Chevy Impala. Anyway, they came in, wanted to buy my car. A buddy of mine called me, said they wanted to buy my car. I thought it was a bunch of Hispanic guys. I was like, no, I'm not interested in selling the car. They poured out a big old giant bag of money and asked me, do I got more? And I said, sure. Let's go. Somebody whispered in my ear, you should start a business. When you got people from overseas coming to you that want to buy your cars and ask you, do you have more? Start a business.
That's right, yes, sir.
Look at opportunities wherever you guys go. So this is Express Gold Plating. I started that business in, I think, late 91, early 92. Oh, it won't show on the TV. Anyway, so I started this in late 91, early 92. I ended up with those, I don't know if you guys remember Dayton wire wheels. Those are the official wheels of the lowriders. They said they were so expensive when they first came out, they were like $4,500. So I had a lot of people beating them up against the curb, and I went to the wholesaler and he wouldn't sell to me. So I said, you know what? It's too much money being missed out on for me not to be involved. So I figured out some way. I said, let me take this wheel apart and figure out how if I could fix it. So I was actually the first person that ever fixed these wire wheels, which I later tapped into a quarter of Dayton Wire Wheels business. Didn't know what that was, but I started dealing with people globally. I started getting funny phone calls from overseas from the operator saying, hold on, I have a person I'm going to translate for you. That ever happened to anybody?
Wow. No, not me.
Yeah. That's when you're dealing with an international business.
Yeah.
You know, I did not know that Dayton Wire Wheel was international. I thought they were just selling wheels to my friends and all my buddies in Compton and LA. But where I thought lowriders was just, I thought everybody had lowriders at one point. I found out that was like Compton, LA, and Watts thing. That was our thing here. It was probably like maybe 2,000 guys with lowriders. But now after the videos came out, now it's a global thing. I was one of the guys who pushed it to the limits. So I was the first person in business. Let me say this: in business, we tend to think that we're making money. You know. So for me, my story is when I started making $5,000 a month on selling regular parts outside of the car business, I needed to fix wheels. I needed to do something else instead of waiting 6 months for these cars to be finished being built. So I started doing all these other things. So when I realized I was making $5,000 a month, my buddy said, TJ, these people come in from San Diego. That guy drove up from Pasadena. This person came in from Lancaster. This one's from Riverside. You should advertise. I'm like, advertise? I'm making $5,000 a month. Just advertise for myself. I'm like, my cow, I make more than my mama. Somebody's making $5,000 a month. So 6 months later, after I finally took his word, I ran a full-page ad in the recycler then. I turned out that was $500, which I did not want to spend. That was too cheap because I didn't think it was necessary. All of a sudden, next week, I made like $15,000 because people was calling. Then I found out that the recycler only held Los Angeles. It didn't have anything to do with these Japanese guys that I was dealing with. So I had to find out where they were. And that was here in this Lowrider magazine. This was sold in 14 countries, not just LA, but 14 countries. So when I found out the key words, how many subscribers do you have, period, that you sell to a month? 1.2 million people globally in 14 countries. So these are key words that we need to know about when we advertise. We can't just walk in and say, hey, I got $5,000, take my money and make me successful. Well, they'll take your money out, right? Successful might not happen because they're going to put that money to where they want it to go. So moving on, this is me in another magazine. When I realized, even with the 14 countries, this magazine was sold in countries that this magazine wasn't sold in. So I had to run an ad in this one. Then I ran an ad in another magazine. Then all of a sudden, my advertising budget was at $20,000 a month. Wow! Because it was money coming in from everywhere. And when you're selling cars, that's not a lot of money. So, there go some of my Japanese buddies that came over. They would come over, you know, really cool guys. They even did an article on me in their Japanese lowrider magazine that I helped them start because they loved our culture so much. They wanted to be a part of it. I had to sell these guys shoes, pants. They were never driving their lowriders. They wanted to blend in. You know, like, I want to have to say Compton on it. I mean, how many you want? I want a container. Container? What's a container? The diesel container.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay. They want to create a market out there. What I didn't realize at the time that I was helping these guys to bring our culture over there.
Yeah, that's right.
Period. They didn't sell Dickies. They didn't sell Chuck Taylors. They didn't sell chains and all that stuff that we would. So they wanted to buy all of that stuff. So that's when I see people, I say they're always, our people are selling incense. You know, I want to be the best candle maker out here. I want to make some shirts and sell them. And I'm like, there's so many more people on the planet. Your target market is Los Angeles. You know, how many people on the planet, you guys? Anybody know?
Trillion.
7 billion.
There's over 7 billion people on the planet. So why are we targeting just this little area right here in Lamar Park or something, you know, LA County? So, like I said, help these guys start this magazine. That touched a whole nother region of the world. You know, it opened me up to do a whole bunch of different things. Like, for example, I ended up opening up a second store in Palmdale. But you see what I had to do here? I had to get an 800 number because there was too many people calling. I wanted to make it easier for them. I'll cover the bill if you're going to possibly spend thousands of dollars with me. I'll pay for that $50 phone call, no problem. So with lowriders, a lot of people didn't realize, and my push is to get more of us, our youth, our children, off the streets and into the lowrider industry. And you probably say, no, what? What do you got? Anybody familiar with the lowrider industry? Classic cars?
A little bit.
Okay, what do you guys think? Drug dealers?
Right.
Okay, how about hydraulics? Do you know hydraulics in the trunk of these cars are the same hydraulics are on the John Deere tractors that's built in the whole city and countries? These are the same things that's on the back of the dump trucks. Hydraulics, these are the same things that's making the wheels up on private jets go up and down. So you learn how to do hydraulics, you can take that anywhere. I didn't know that until I was sitting in my backyard in Palmdale. I had a ranch house, and my neighbor said, man, our tractor broke down, and we're over there moving the intersection. And he's like, it's Sunday night, we're not gonna see anybody till Tuesday because tomorrow's a holiday. It was like, I said, no, I don't have time for that. I'll give you $6 grand. I was like, where you want me to pay? You know, no problem. So with that, you know where else lowriders are? Where else lowriders and classic cars are now? Movies, TV shows, commercials. This here is we were getting ready to go to the video set of Straight Outta Compton. You guys see that?
Yeah.
You know, it was over 200 lowriders in that movie. $1,500 a day per car for 3 months. How about that? For something that you guys don't know anything about, but what I really want to talk about is, you see this car? Anybody know what this is?
Cadillac something.
A lowrider?
Nope. That's a 1958 Chevy Impala convertible.
Wow.
You know what happens when somebody offers you $250,000 for a car that they only made a certain amount for, and you turn it down?
What happens?
Goes up.
Price goes up.
That's right.
They offered him $250,000 and he turned it down. They came back with $500,000 and he turned it down. You know why he turned it down? Because you see, all of them are going overseas to Japan, Germany, New Zealand, Australia. All of these foreign countries are buying these cars up like crazy. So the deal is, this is an American-made car that was born in America. These cars are all over America, probably sitting in one of your grandmother's or auntie's backyards in Mississippi, Louisiana, buried in cow poop and trees growing up out the middle, sitting in the bottom of the swamp. And it's like a game. We got to find them and turn around and not give them away.
That's right.
You got too many people giving them away and having them crushed because they're just trash. They look too bad. They're like, oh, that thing's rusted out, the whole back. Trust me, if that car was like broke like this in half in 4 pieces, I'd run over there and buy it.
That's right.
If they call me right now and say, hey, I got a 58 Chevy, a 57 Bel Air, or a 61, I'd cancel the class. All right, you guys, I got to run. It's that much money in it. If this car was rusted out and just all the windows were busted and the front end was missing, he'd still get $50,000 just sitting like that. And the same with these other cars. These cars, the values are going up through the roof, and we got to start paying attention to this because too many people are giving them away. But a big thing that I want people to know is people are sitting in their backyards, restoring these cars, pulling in 6 and 7 figures a year, and we think they're drug dealers. Because we're just looking at all these fancy cars he has. Escalade, he got all these cars with big wheels on it, but we don't realize he's dealing with Japanese, Jay Leno, and all the rest of these guys. Did you know that? You guys see Jay's garage?
Yeah, wow.
You see Tim the Tool Man's garage? Jesse James? These are all classic cars. This is a multi-trillion-dollar a year industry. Anybody in here, son or daughter in school for auto body? No. Welding?
Do they even have that in school anymore?
Exactly. Exactly. But guess what? These are all 6 and 7 figure a year businesses that we can do literally sitting at home in our backyard.
Right.
We couldn't get a job in it, but we can start a business easily. When I first started this business, it would take 3 months to paint a car. Now it's taking up to 4 years. You know why? There's more people that need the work done than there are people to actually do it. So it's struggling right now. So you know what happens when you tell a guy, oh, it might take about 4 years to paint your car. You know what happens to a guy? The guy's like, well, how much is that going to be? Oh, 20 grand to paint it. Well, I'll give you 40 to paint if you can paint it in 3 months.
Wow.
I'll give you 50.
Wow.
My birthday's coming up next week. Or I got a new video coming out. Jay Leno wants me to come out and do a movie with him. So I need to have it like by tomorrow. I'm willing to give you $75,000 if you can just sit here and paint my car, put this car together like in the next 3 days. No problem. But the problem is, that's all the work that we're doing. We're going after the big fish and all the little people that's only got $25,000 or $50,000. They're just being pushed to the side of the road. This is why it's such a high need for guys who weld. There's a survey that came out on February 8th. It said 5.6 million jobs are available. Did you guys see that? That people who graduate from college do not qualify for. Guess what was on the list? Welding, automotive, things like that. So we need to look into these things, and we send our children to school to turn around and to learn things that they can get a job in, but not start businesses in. So I'm not here to blast college. I'm just here to kick the facts and bring reality to you guys. There's too many people who are struggling in LA, but then there's a whole lot of people who are wealthy because of they're sitting in their backyard building these cars. In this industry, they're teaching their children. But with that, I want to talk about business. You know what happens when you go into the grocery store and they ask you for your zip code? You guys know why I do that?
No, demographics.
For what?
Huh?
Demographics for what?
So they can market, they know who's visiting their location, they know who they're servicing.
Right. So with me, when I had a bunch of people coming to me and they kept putting on their receipt, Palmdale, Lancaster, Little Rock, Victorville. I'm like, wow, where are these places at? Then I realized, I said, wait a minute. I need to open up a what? A second location in Palmdale, Lancaster. A quarter of my business is coming from that one area, right? That's why they do that. That's how they find out what new stores to open. So in business, we need to start asking where they're from. So right now, we're going through what? We just talked about it a second ago?
Gentrification.
Gentrification. So is gentrification a bad thing, you guys?
Depends on how you look at it.
Exactly. Depending on how you look at it. If you got a job, it's terrible.
Right.
If you own a business, it's what?
Great.
It's a great thing. So wouldn't it make sense to do what?
Expand your benefits.
Own a business. So let's talk about the economy. Google's in Playa del Rey, along with a lot of other people, right? You guys know that?
No.
Who's it? Yahoo and a bunch of other people. That's going to be the new tech capital. You guys know that, right?
Right.
Wow.
Okay. SpaceX and Tesla is in Hawthorne, right? Rams and the Chargers are in Inglewood, right? Amazon's in Compton. You guys see in the picture here? What does that mean?
They're coming to take over.
More revenue.
They're coming to take over. Gentrification. Home prices are going up through the roof because of all this new development. People who sell low are looking to buy in fast-growing areas. That's a wealth creator. What is that? You got people, I call them the gypsies. You know what a gypsy is?
They follow the way. No, it's
They following the way. People who come in today, buy a $400,000 house, and then sell it for, $1 million in 4 years. And then they looking for, where's the next fastest growing city in America
Right.
that we can move to, and that's where they move to. Every 4 years, they're moving somewhere new. So this is what they're doing. They're coming into our areas, tearing down the small houses and putting bigger houses up, right? This is why I tell people, don't sell your house.
That's right.
Well, I made $500,000 profit. I'm like, so?
That's right.
You know what I mean? I'm like, you leaving money on the table. It's like, what kind of money are you talking about?
Right.
Your house was, you paid $40,000,
Right.
back in 1970. Now all of a sudden you sold it for $500,000.
Right.
You're thinking you're making a bunch of money, but then you come back 3 years from now, it's worth $3 million.
That's right.
Right.
Because of all of these tech companies
Right.
are surrounding your area.
That's right.
And they're, if you Google and look at the prices of the areas that they came from,
Right.
it's very unaffordable. Like 1.3 million for a 500 square foot loft. So don't you think if you can afford, if you're making enough money to pay for $1 million house, don't you want like a lot of square footage? You want something like 8,000 or 5,000 with some land, right? Well, they're not getting that. This is the future of Los Angeles. You see this? These are our old houses here, right? You see what they do? They tear them down, dig that little hill out, bring it to the street, and make it a 3-story. So you know what this guy did? We turned around, he bought this lot, this house. This was actually in Redondo Beach. My buddy told me when I was in Palmdale building houses, he said, there's no more money out there in the valley. You need to be down here by the beach. We're buying these $400,000 raggedy houses. Anybody know there's $400,000 houses in Redondo Beach? A lot of people don't. Redondo Beach, we think of this, right? Well, this is not the original 1970s, the 1960s, and 50s Redondo Beach. This is.
Right.
So we just got to find these areas. They exist. Trust me, they're fighting over these areas. So bought this house for $400,000, went to the bank, got a loan for 1.2, put this up 5,800 square foot, sold it for $4 million. This is what people who bought these houses from in Beverly Hills. Beverly Hills was not always Beverly Hills. It was affordable at one time, $400,000, $500,000 for a nice house. Now they're getting $4 million because of everything in the neighborhood. So we got to learn to listen, pay attention around, and ask questions. Stop selling out because you're thinking you made 500 profit, or even if they say I'll give you $1 million. Well, if they willing to give you $1 million,
Right.
what's he gonna be? What's he gonna do with it?
Right.
Hello. Gentrification, I call it economic warfare. People who think this doesn't affect me, I'm going to benefit from this. Meaning I own property here, I'm gonna be great. I'm not worried about it. Why not? There are people passing laws designed to get us out of
That's
here.
right.
They don't want us here because they know we can't afford to be here. So there's crazy laws being passed. Decreasing funds for the schools. Anybody got complaints about their children's school? Everybody. But in Palmdale, they don't. Moreno Valley, they don't. All the places they want us to go to,
Right.
there's perfect schools. They're
Right.
brand new schools out there. They got all the money in the world. No beneficial businesses like grocery stores, all that stuff. It's not here, really. Gang violence at an all-time high. Senseless murders. Reap on your property. Anybody know what reap means?
What?
REAP. Renters Escrow Assistance Program. That's just another fancy word for gentrification
That's
today.
right.
Meaning, they run your title, find out how much property you own, turn around and say, oh, let's send them a letter to all their tenants.
Right.
And not to this main house, because this must be where they live. Let's send it to their tenants. So you send it to their tenants, and the tenants say, you're a slumlord.
Right.
He hadn't fixed this stuff. We want him to fix this, we want him to fix that. It might be $5,000 or $6,000 worth of damages that they just came up with.
Right.
Like what? Oh, that garage door looks dangerous. That's an unpermitted shed and you're on the side of your house. They got to tear that down. All of a sudden, it costs you money to do all these things. Believe it or not, a lot of people don't have $5,000 or $6,000. So anyway, it goes to the state. They end up suing you, put a lien against your property, and they can force a sale on you. Child on drugs. We got to question a lot of this stuff. People going up missing. We're like, do you know there's people here who live here that owns almost the whole neighborhoods, own like all of this block? And we don't know that because they're not bragging, walking around with an $800 pair of shoes on. They're walking around looking bummy and regular. So these guys are coming up missing and things are happening. Their children ends up on drugs. You know what happened when a person has $20 million in real estate and one child and the son ends up on drugs? What happens to his property when the old person dies?
Stays
Goes to the state. You only need to look at Venice Beach to see what's happening to black communities not sticking together. You guys familiar with Venice Beach? Started off at $40,000. Then all of a sudden, now you go out there, it's like $3 million. That's why I tell people, they be like, I got 800,000. I sold for $1 million. I be like, really? That's all? All right, traditional solutions for education, 4 years of college. That's our traditional solution to poverty. Yes, ma'am.
On that point about the the house going to the son after the person dies, did that person have a trust in place?
It goes to the state.
No, it goes to the state.
Right, the person didn't have a trust though.
Nope.
Right, but if the person had a trust, that would not have happened.
But if you got one child, who would it go to if you had a trust? If your son is on drugs or he's in prison doing 20 years of life, you gonna create a trust to give it to him?
Well, on the common sense side, yes, I agree with you, right. But if that person had a trust, then it would naturally flow to that son, irregardless if the son was on drugs.
Right.
If the person had a
Well,
trust.
see, that's why we gotta start educating. Like I said, education is not just 4 years of college. Education is sit down with a financial preparer or somebody who can tell me what to do with my money.
Hello.
You know, what can I do with my title? You know, you guys notice how churches are saying, oh, don't you want to tithe even when you're not here? And we can just take it out of your account,
No
right?
thanks.
When you're traveling to Texas, we can just take it out, right? Well, do you know that same letter that you filled out? They can take that into court when you die
That's right.
and dispute your will.
That's right.
Say, oh, Miss Jones said she was going to leave us 2 of those houses. They'd be like, well, see, we have her documents here where she was. Of course, like, okay.
Wow.
See, it's things like that we gotta ask questions about. Okay, going to college and getting a good job paying $45,000 to $100,000. Anybody in here see these numbers when they graduate from college?
No.
No. So why are we still putting our children in school to find a job? We're not finding jobs. You know what jobs are nowadays?
Teaching.
Journey of the broke.
Okay, people. Let me tell you what I noticed. People from college. When I see people who go to school, people said, oh, my son's in Texas, my daughter's in New Jersey, my other son, you know, he's in Mississippi working, they got good jobs there. I'm like, we live in country.
Right.
You know, like, what's going on? But then, you know, when I talk to my foreign buddies, what they tell me? They say, oh, yeah, me and my whole family, we just moved to Compton. We're from Asia.
Yeah.
You know, so people who start businesses are moving to America, specifically Los Angeles, because they know where the gentrification is coming. They don't know anything, they don't have no college degrees or anything, but all they know is America has money, they're re-gentrifying this area, and there's a lot of money in Los Angeles, so we're gonna open anything there. Matter of fact, you know who did that before? This guy named Benny Hanna. Y'all ever heard of him?
Yeah.
He said, they don't have fried rice in America, I'm gonna go. Think it worked out for him?
Yeah.
Okay, y'all agree with that. Cost of college, $60,215. That's not including finance charges. You know how many businesses you could open for? Anybody had $215,000 when they started their business in here? No? That's a lot of money. So we get 215, we get 60. Did anybody have 60 when they started? No. How much? Anybody know how much Steve Jobs and Wozniak paid to start Google? I mean, what is it, Apple computers?
He started in his parents' garage, so.
With $1,250. They started a multi-billion-dollar industry, right? He died with $300 billion in his savings account off of a $1,250 investment. So, but we're going to school to get jobs and paying money like this, right? I'm not here to blast college. I'm just kicking the facts.
No, I love that. Blast college.
I'm just kicking the facts, that's all. Because a lot of people don't do it. People be like, oh, my kid, she's in college. I'll be like, oh, she's at Morehouse, AK. I'm like, really? Like, they working yet? But they got their degree. Degrees on the wall. But are they working yet? Are they still at home?
Right.
Oh, okay. $215,000. He started making the payments yet? How much are they?
Right.
Can't buy a house either, could he? Oh, well, you don't talk about that part.
Right.
So we setting our children up, putting them in school most of the time, when they got people teaching classes that teach them how to start businesses and how to make money. Okay, the qualifier for a home and which medium home prices start at $500,000. You know how much you got to be making to buy a home half the time? You're coming in at over 100. If all of these prices go up, which they're going up right now, because of Google's in the area, and Tesla's here, and Amazon's here, and now that Toyota's leaving, that's a major player. That's a big power move. Toyota's leaving. Honda's scared to announce that they're leaving. because of what happened with Toyota, but they're sneaking out the back door, already got the corporate offices, Nissan's gone. Y'all checking this out? Are we paying attention to what's happening here? Prices are going up through the roof. So why are we, but when we go to school and get a job, we're coming out able to make at max 110,000. You're not gonna qualify to purchase pretty much, you're not gonna be able to afford to live here, period, in this area.
Not even an apartment.
Right, so exactly, so if you turn around and the houses in the neighborhood are starting off at $1 million, how much is the mortgage on $1 million? Anybody know? My financiers in here?
Over 10,000.
Yeah, it's 15,000 more.
Something like that, six to 7,000, something like that, depending on your credit. Well, guess what? If the mortgage is 6,000, how much we renting for? To make a profit,
And
right?
at least one.
7,000, 8,000, right? So can we do that on this? So we gotta think about it. That's all I ask people, just let's think and pay attention. If you wanna be able to afford to stay here, you gotta put yourself in a situation where you can. Up to date for 2016 solutions. I always say the baby boomers information, that's old and outdated. You gotta throw that away. Go to school, what is it you guys? Go to school,
Yep, good job.
get a job, buy a home. No. We need to be talking more of what? Start a business. Create some intellectual properties or invest. What's intellectual property? Anybody know?
Those are, like, if there any in your lecture series, documentation, any kind of.
Any ideas that we come up with? You know what I'm saying? Somebody had an idea to come up with this clicker here. It'd be cool if he didn't have to sit on that computer and push a button every 5 seconds. How many people need these clickers?
Lots.
Millions of people around the world need these clickers. Maybe two or three, 5 or 10 clickers. So at 60 and 70 bucks a piece, you think they did okay? This was an intellectual property. This was somebody's idea.
It was actually a brother, who actually came up with the concept of remote control.
Is that right? I actually had one in my workshop the other day who created the remote control for TV and VCR. Okay, you know what one of the number one ways to make money in America is?
Wow.
Things not sold in America. Benihana came over here with some fried rice. There's no fried rice here. Maybe they my people come in there in big numbers, I gonna bring fried rice. It worked out for them. What else? Things are not sold here in America. People I sit down and I talk to a lot of rich people because I do coaching. I'm sure you guys figured that out. Consulting and things like that. And I ask them, and it's amazing. Well, I came over here and they didn't have these Persian rugs. Now I make $10 million a year because I just bring rugs over here to America. Really? In the story, I'm always amazed, like, wow. You don't even got a degree. You don't know nothing. You just found something that's not sold here in America. Education is one of the biggest things to make money right now. Is we need life skills. You're coming home from college, $200,000 worth of education. Don't know how to put a ceiling fan up. Don't know how to tune up, change the spark plugs on the car. Don't know how to change the tire. Don't know how to change the door handle on the door because the screws got loose. I saw screws sitting on the ground, and this screw was hanging out there. 3 grown young men sitting in the house, and I said, "Y'all not gonna fix this door?" We don't know how. Then y'all go to college? Yeah. I got Morehouse. Oh, let me call somebody. Okay, so now you're creating money, paying your money, all that money you're making to someone else.
Calling somebody not black.
So exactly. So here we are. We're in a great situation. If you know how to hang a ceiling fan, anybody ever had ceiling fans hung at their homes?
Yeah.
You know how much that costs? I made the mistake of buying a big giant house in the Antelope Valley. And the guy came to my house, as soon as they heard the address, it was like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden you get there, and he's like, how many you need? I'm like, well, how much is it? I'm like, I got 10 rooms, I need 10 ceiling fans. Oh, well, this ceiling fan is in the voltage one. This is going to be, oh man, you got about $1,000 bucks.
Wow.
I got to get a ladder. Matter of fact, we got to bring this truck to raise the ladder, because you bought a big house.
That's right.
I'm like, so where I always wanted a big house. Now guess what I want?
A condo.
I want a little house.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? People be like, oh man, I'm buying 15,000, but don't do it. Like, how much is your utilities? It's questions like that we need to ask